Hello, hello, hello.
Hey Joseph, how's it going?
Not
Looks like
too
it's
bad.
just gonna be me and you again.
Yeah, looks like it. It might. I don't know if it's because people don't get any notifications. Maybe I don't know.
Or maybe it's like a different time zone. I'm not sure. But
Possibly that's also true.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it should get better because we still have plans to keep growing the community. We still building out the course slowly, and once the course is actually complete, it'll be an easier path to actually convince people to join the community
To
because we have
join. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I've been going through it, and it's been good.
nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, what do you have today? Like, do you have any questions or did you just
Yeah, I do have a few questions if that's okay.
sure. Yeah, of
Go
course.
and see. Yeah, so I've done all the technical side and speed and stuff. So now it's starting to
Sweet.
improve the website itself. So
Nice.
I know we touched on my homepage in the past, and I agreed
Mhm.
with what you said as like the banner. I had two different products, and I'm going to get rid of them. The first question
Mhm.
I had regarding is should is putting I had the thought of just putting like board games as my category at the top. Is that too like general? Um, should I be going more specific?
No, I think that's fine.
That's fine.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you want to go specific, like you have the other, I'm looking at your site right now. You have
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
other categories here anyway, right? Like Pokemon, TCG, etc.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I
Like
was planning on
you've done
yeah.
really well categorizing these.
Yeah, bits. I've got a few questions regarding that as well. But yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So yeah, I guess it's just I've looked at other competitors as well, so they've given me
Mhm.
ideas. So yeah, so the
Nice.
plan was to put board games at the top, and then below, like you've got Funko, Lego, and then some video games. I was going to put trading card games to add it there, like a little banner there.
Yeah.
And then on top of between that, so on top of bestsellers, I was planning on putting like little like logos or something, but it would be
Yeah.
for like specific categories. Like for example, would that be all right to like put them like just be a
Yeah.
bit random, like put like maybe adult board games and then put a few like Funko categories, like maybe I don't know, Marvel and Star Wars, and then a couple of
Yeah.
Pokemon stuff. I think that's what I'd do
Definitely.
on there. Okay.
Definitely.
Well, that's and plush toys and stuff I was going to do. Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll get that
And
done.
just
Yeah,
one thing you can do is if like yeah, I mean like if you're using the logos, right? Like there's no anchor text. So it's you can actually just make sure the name of the image is your anchor text,
okay.
right? The alt tag, the name of the
Okay,
image.
yes,
Yeah.
that's a good thought. That helps, doesn't it? Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Add images with anchor. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, that's a good idea. Right. So the next thing I was gonna do. So as you said that I've added different categories. So I've been looking at my Google Search Console.
Mm-hmm.
One that's well, like I've just like the last month because that's when they've changed everything. There's some that are getting a lot of impressions, like adult board games. Gets like
Mm-hmm.
I've had like 200 impressions in the last like 3 weeks or something.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what could I do to rank higher? Is it just a sense? Is for example, if I put it on my homepage, would that help it? And what else
Yeah.
did I to add to?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then content, I guess. So I could do
Yeah.
like best top 10 best board game adult board games and stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, both would help. Both would
Okay.
help. Like the homepage, being on the homepage, you'll funnel some link juice towards that query.
Yeah.
Creating more content, you're building up more topical authority so that you
Mhm.
can rank for that query and related queries. Again, if Google is rewarding you impressions for a certain query, that means it thinks that you're sort of an expert on that query, and you should be able to rank for related or relevant queries as well.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
something that's I will look into. It's one I've noticed. I've been looking at a few, but adult board games especially has gone up like come up quite high. I think
Yeah.
I think I was going to talk about more, like a lot of board game related stuff has come up, and it's maybe because that's why I don't know. I don't know. I've got the theory maybe because I'm putting content blog content out of like board
Maybe.
games.
Yeah,
Because
that's
obviously,
possibly why.
yeah, obviously added different categories and everything as well. A lot of categories for
Yeah.
board games, but
Mhm.
it seems to picked up a lot. This one's a question that I don't know if you've got experience in. Do you know when
Mhm.
you go on Google and there's like a product section and you, because that's like for example, I sell like specific category branded items like Guess Who football stars. So there are
Mhm.
people that do search for like that item on Google. So
Mhm.
do you know on the product page, like when you go to the product page, do you have any experience on how to rank higher on that? If
Yeah,
you
it's the same thing. It's the same process, really. Yeah. Obviously, as long as your schema and your structured data is done correctly, that helps a lot. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same process.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Because there are some queries that I do already rank
Mhm.
on there. I guess it's because
Yeah.
no other store must have them because that's why my domain rating and everything's pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Keyword cannibalization. I struggle saying that word. So I think I'm doing it. Like, for example, if you see the Pokemon categories, I'm putting
Yeah.
Pokemon Starter Decks, Pokemon Booster
Mhm.
Packs, Pokemon
Mhm.
Sets. Should I
Mhm.
take Pokemon off there and just have Starter Decks, Booster
No, I
Packs?
think it's completely
That's
fine.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the way to check keyword cannibalization is to look for the target search term. For example, if the target search term is Pokemon Starter Decks.
Okay.
If you search for Pokemon Starter Decks and you don't see any booster box pages on there, then there's no risk of cannibalization because they're completely different in the eyes of the search engine.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's I was worried about because then I was looking at other pages and they just have Pokemon and then they'll have like starter decks, booster packs. They don't have
Yeah.
Pokemon. And what about the Funko one? I don't. I think that one might be cannibalization. If
No,
you,
it's
that's fine
fine.
as
I
well.
think they have
Okay.
completely different search intent, right? Someone searching for Funko Disney is not looking for Funko Dragon Ball. They're completely different
Yeah.
search
Yeah.
engine results
Okay.
pages.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's amazing. Could you give me an example then of like cannibalization?
Cannibalization. So
Yeah.
let me think of one very quickly.
Yeah.
A basic one is like, for example, like top 10, top 10 best board games. Like you don't need a top 10 best board games in a uh uh top 10 best like top 10 board games in a 10 best board games. Like they're
Okay. I see what you're saying.
different queries, but they target the same search intent. Like
Same
the
thing. Okay.
person's basically looking for the same thing. And that's
Yeah.
the most basic version of it. There's like other stuff where it's like maybe like let me think of something like cycling shorts and cycling, I don't know what's a synonym for shorts. Like again, it might be separate keywords, but the search engine can understand that they're synonyms. So
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I thought like because obviously you want to add, as you say, as many categories and collections as possible. Then you don't want to like cannibalize either. So
Exactly. Yeah. If
there's a fine line,
the
isn't
key thing here is that if you can rank for a group of keywords with one page, you want to do that. And the best way to do that is if the same page is ranking for several keywords, that means that, okay, all these keywords can be ranked for the same page based on what the search engine is ranking,
it? Okay.
right?
Yeah. 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 Um. Right. I've got a couple more questions still. Yeah. So it's mostly like from my blog content. I look at
Mhm.
my Google Search Console, and there's some that I've
Mhm.
gotten impressions, and now all of a sudden I don't have any more.
Yeah, that's
And
that's
it's just
that,
normal, I
that's
do.
mhm. That's something that's happened very recently because the Google algorithm update has affected a lot of blog content or informational content.
Okay.
They're suddenly just ranking a lot of Quora, Reddit instead of blogs. And so blog content isn't ranking as high, but it's still very important to have them on your site because again, they show that you're the topical authority and they help you rank for the products and the collection pages. So it's still important to have blog content, even though that they're there's a very low likelihood that they're going to rank these days the way the algorithm is set up right now. The
Yeah.
algorithm's just prioritizing Reddit,
Yeah.
mostly
Okay.
Reddit,
So that's
really.
what it is.
Yeah.
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 I don't know if it was just it was low quality or because they did when once I posted it, like I got a few
Mhm.
impressions. I've got an
Yeah.
example here if you wanted to see it. And then on
Sure.
all of a sudden, sorry.
Yeah. You're
Oh yeah,
saying?
sorry. Yeah. So I got a few impressions, and then all of a sudden, like there's just none. So it's not ranking at all. Like it's not on.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
thought, yeah, there's
That's
just
definitely the
no.
algorithm update.
Okay, it's just I
It's
didn't
been
know if it was bad
smashing
quality
informational
or.
content. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Fine. Okay. And then the last question.
Mhm.
I know I talk a lot about the blog content. It's just
Mhm.
while I'm here anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
because well, I've seen that there's some because I found some competitors and their website's so basic, but then
Mhm.
I look on like they've got no blog content, like no
Yeah,
FAQ. It's so basic, and then
yeah.
you look at the SEMrush and they're getting like 20,000 estimated
Mhm.
visits. It's crazy.
Yeah,
So like I should be able to rank them pretty
yeah.
easily, which is good. But yeah,
Yeah.
going to my question. So at the moment,
Mhm.
I'm posting a blog a day, just Monday to
Mhm.
Friday, and it's all
Yeah.
board games
Mhm.
related. Now I want to like what I want to prioritize because I've got the best relationships is obviously board games, Pokemon cards, probably a little bit of trading card games like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, but then
Yeah.
Funko. So obviously I know I can't remember in which course or part of your course you were saying like gotta be careful to not like go into something that's related. I'm butchering what you were saying. You don't want to confuse Google essentially with what your content
Yeah.
is. So
Mhm.
should I be mixing content now? Because I've done about a month of blogs more or less, and it's all
Yeah.
been board games. Should I be mixing other things like Pokemon and Funko now, or does it matter if I do a few months of board games and then add stuff later?
Yeah, I think like you should focus on whatever you're getting impressions or
Okay.
rankings and traffic for right now.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's just like best bang for your buck. Like you spend your resources there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh if you do the Pokemon Funko stuff, the likelihood of you ranking for those is much lower because you aren't ranking for those at the moment. The board game stuff, you're already seeing some impressions. So um if you can publish relevant content, you're more likely to rank for those.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think I may put some Pokemon stuff because as I
Mhm.
mentioned a few weeks ago, like I am getting impression with Pokemon and all I've got is
Mhm.
like I've just added them like what is it 4 or 5
Yeah.
category pages, not done much else.
Mhm.
Funko, I'm not getting anything, which is weird with the amount of with the amount of collection pages I've got. But it's just one of them, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you just the way it works is you do stuff, right? Like that's your
Yeah.
input, and
Yeah.
then the search engine feeds you like data, and then you just evaluate your next move
Yeah.
based on what the
From that.
search
Yeah.
engine gives
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So from there, then I'll probably add just Pokemon stuff and keep
Mhm.
going with the board games for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll change my homepage. That's it. Okay. Amazing. I think
Yeah.
that's all my questions anyway.
All right.
Well,
Awesome.
I'm going to add an FAQ on certain category pages. I'm having a bit of trouble uh, getting separate. So like yeah, I can get an FAQ, but then the same FAQ will come on every collection page. So I'm looking into that. But the
Yeah.
question I had is it just basically just putting in like if I wanted adult board games, I'd add an FAQ since I'm getting a bit of impressions and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
just looking
Yeah.
at yeah? Is it just looking at like what people also ask on Google more or
No,
less?
also like yeah, like that's one way to do it, but then you also want to think just put yourself in the position of a user. If they search for this, like what kind of questions do they have also? Obviously people also ask helps because that the search engine is determining like those are the questions that these users have. But you can also just like ask ChatGPT. You can find
Okay,
different sources for yeah, like what
that's
questions
that's
might these guys have, right? Yeah.
easy. That's a good one. But for FAQ. Yeah. Okay. So answer. An answer.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's I think that's all my questions. And yeah.
All
Okay.
right. All right, man. Thanks for hopping on.
No, thank you for your time.
Always appreciate it. All right, man. Well,
Yeah.
have a good day. Thanks
You
for
too. Yeah.
hopping
Thank you
on.
very much.
All right,
Thank you.
cheers. Have a good
Bye.
one.
Bye. Bye. Bye.